Welcome to Let 'em Run, the Florida and Arkansas Derby Showdowns. And we got some breaking news right before we came on that we will get to in a couple of races here. But definitely big news, so make sure you stay tuned. And if you're with us on Thursday night and you liked one of the horses we were talking about, you may have to figure out another horse, which most of you probably have backups.
So just reload. Got to reload. When that happens, you got to reload. That's why, hey, we say that the scratches can make a big difference. Well, today they certainly did.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so right away, so we have the Arkansas Derby and the Florida Derby. Those are late in the afternoon, evening time. Race 10, the first of 5 at the in the pick 5 is a little bit later than some of the other races lately. It's 10 through 14 here, so 7.5 furlongs turf. Remember, this is a big day at the Derby. So at Gulfstream, every race is going to be pretty big. This is Sustainable Island Stakes, $165,000 race. Big horses in it. The horse I know you talked about. I don't know if you want to do a recap of the other night before each race, or you just want to talk about each kind of race separately.
Yeah, no, I just mentioned quickly the number 1 pick we had, which was the number 2 Mrs. Worldwide. Louis Saez is on him, shortening up from a mile to 7.5 furlongs on the turf, so he's got a good shot. A couple other horses that are going to look good in here. I think this is a good betting race where you could put together some 3 or 4 horses into an exacta, or even, my opinion, would be to put the 2 on top. But the number 3, Love Server, is being ridden by Manny Franco. Again, Gaffalione was scheduled to be on him. In addition to that, on the 9-horse Spirited Boss, Castellano is on that horse. So there's been some changes in that race. But besides our horse in our 1-horse wonder picks, I really also like the 6-horse. When you get Irad Ortiz at 9-2, for Brendan Walsh, they hook up together 50% in terms of when Brendan Walsh puts Irad on a horse. He's been on this horse the last 3 times, getting a big class relief here. Last out he was in a grade 3. Now this is again all the next 4 races in this pick 5 sequence are 165K, 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 165K. All stakes races, but interestingly enough, all at 165K. So that's another horse that I like. Interesting horse, also at a price. This would be a good. We also often talk about some guys out there like to do a little show bet. Morning line is 20-1 on the 5 La Cantera, Ireland-bred horse trained by Joseph Safi. Edgar Zeiss is on him, 20-1. I mean, come on.
Pretty interesting.
So you want to look for yeah. I mean, you want to look for value. When do you ever see that happen? And then again, I'm not sure he's going to win. He might win, but I mean, Joseph Safi, I think that's the only horse he has in this race, which is kind of interesting. Because also what's interesting is in looking through some of the stats that were available with the sire Persian King, which is an Ireland horse, Ireland-bred horse, obviously. He's a 40% turf sire. Now, this horse has ran on turf twice already, coming first once and third once. Interesting horse for 20-1. I mean, a lot of guys will do something where they do up and down. They'll do, all 5 all. There's 10 horses in the race, so that'll cost you like $40. As long as that horse comes in first or second, guy, and if he's 20-1 or more, you'll make some money. Just something else to note, Sean, also eligible, number 11, Temple City Taboo got in. Another 20-1 shot. The trainer, Salvatore Santoro, again, the name may not be outstanding, but the guy hits at 43% in Gulfstream. I mean, he's 2 for 2 at Gulfstream, 43% overall. It's a small sample, 7 horses, or 7 races. The horse put out a super workout on March 15th, 47 seconds. So he's a closer. He's got Jaramillo on him. Jaramillo's been hot. So this is a good race to spread out on, I think, Sean.
Okay, yeah, and interesting as the first race there too. So
Well, that first leg of the pick 5, yeah.
second race, second leg of the pick 5 is where
Ah!
look out, Hoors. Knightsbridge,
Look out.
number 4, who's going to be probably even money at minimum. 7 furlongs, Dirt Army Mule Stakes, 165,000. Knightsbridge, the favorite, is scratched. Joel Rosario and Matsush. So we got to go in another direction here.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also a scratch in the number 9 horse. So there's 2 scratches in the race. Manny Franco is on the number 3 horse, Implementation, because again, Gaffalione is out. As far as any other jockey change, I think that's it. Again, the horse that we picked out on obviously our lookout bet is gone. So moving forward and looking at a different horse in this race, I certainly like the number 8 horse, Inveigled, being ridden by Paco Lopez. Morning line 7-2. He had a terrible start. 2 back if you watch that replay. I think Paco will have him a little more forward here in this 7 furlong race. Give him a chance to be up there with the front runners. He certainly is not a front runner as far as his style goes. He's definitely a closer, which is how he won last time. I put up a 94 buyer speed figure, so I would definitely have him use. However, now with those 2 scratches, Sean, I know we touched base on this on Thursday night. Very helpful that those 2 scratches happen. I'm not happy that our lookout bet, the 4, got scratched, but the number 10 horse, which we talked about on Thursday, going up 30-1. Randy Allen's only mount, coming in from Tampa, just down the road, or up the road, whatever. And 14 lifetime races, 7 wins, 1 second, 3/3. I mean, he fits here. He fits. He's only been on turf, on dry. Sorry, only been on a dry, fast course twice. And guess what he did both times, Sean? He won. I mean, he's stepping up in class, no doubt. His post, the 10 post in the 7 furlong race, not tremendous. Got a lot better when he got in the 8 post, and he's got speed. And I love it when there's a jockey that comes in for the only mount. He's not coming in just to say hello to his friends and have a little, sandwich with the guys. He's looking to win. So that horse is definitely a horse to use in some capacity at 30-1. Again, not so sure he's going to win. He might win, but certainly into some exactas and maybe rounding out the bottom of your trifectas, I would definitely not leave him out. One last horse to make a note of, Irad Ortiz is on a 5 horse, Gordian Knot. That horse was previously trained by Jamie Ness, who, if you're familiar with him, is a tremendous trainer. Trains a lot in the north, trains at Laurel Parks, takes a lot of races in those areas. But Todd Pletcher, maybe in a private sale or however he didn't get claimed or anything. It was just previously trained by Jamie Ness. So when that happens, that usually means there's a private sale or something happened where they decided to put a different trainer on there. And again, Todd Pletcher, okay. And Irad Ortiz, okay, 6-1. Okay. I would definitely take a look at that horse as well. As last time out, he had a rough trip. So another race where there's lots of value, Sean.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, that going up is interesting there at 30-1.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You mentioned that Thursday, Sean. You did.
Yeah. It just whenever I see a horse like that coming in, or jockey coming in for one race, or or trainer coming in for one race, whatever it is, and they're targeting something with a specific horse. Maybe they see something. The horse is 30-1, but maybe they see something in the race. So, well,
we're going to find out, and I'd like to see him get into money. That would probably make a lot of people happy, including yours truly.
Yes, that's great. Race 12, 5:15 Sand Spring Stakes, 1 1/16 miles on turf, 165,000 on Thursday night. We talked about the fact that they took the races off the turf earlier.
Thursday, they ran them on turf yesterday, though.
Yeah, it's just because they haven't had a lot of rain. So, back on the turf yesterday. We got a real good horse according to Brisnet in your notes here. We got the 3 scratched, the 9 scratched, and I guess the 13 didn't get in. So
13 did not get in. Nope.
yeah, so 3 and the 9
Well,
scratched.
Sean, if you're looking at that information, who do they have listed if you're looking on the 7 autumn evening?
Manuel Franco.
Okay, so they took. It looks like Franco is picking up all of Alvarado's mounts, of course, obviously in the big race. So the 7 autumn evening is now being ridden by Manny Franco. Alvarado's obviously out. It's interesting in this race. Safi Joseph has 4 horses, four horses in this race. He has the 1, 4, the 8, 1, 4, 8, and the 12, and the 12 being the horse that we love. I like the 12 even better now, Sean, because of the scratches. It's a long race, so he could probably go and save some ground. But it's a lot easier to do that now that he's in the 10th, post 10 instead of post 12. So that helps a lot. So I still really like that horse a lot. He's got the highest early pace speed, like we mentioned. So, I'm looking at my pick 5s. I may think about possibly considering singling him or maybe using another horse. If you look in our article that we wrote, number 2, Spinning Colors. Javier Castellanos got some speed on this horse. He's got a good spot, 1 out from the rail. Your horse, Sean, I hate to say this because I know if I say this, you might break out into a little dance. But the number 1 horse moving on up, he's at it again, and he's got a lot of upside to him. He won his last out, put up a Beyer par almost to this type of race. So how do you like the fact that he's getting a big look, Sean? You're moving on up.
Yeah, it comes out. It didn't seem like he raced that long ago, though. How long ago?
2 weeks. That's all. It was only 2 weeks. So
2 weeks ago.
Getting back in pretty quick.
Yeah. I was trying to think it was last week or the week before. Look.
No, it's exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah, 10-1. He might. I don't know. You leave that horse out at this point, especially after the way he ran this time.
Yeah, I wouldn't leave him out, and then the horizontal bets like pick 3s, 4s, and 5s, and I certainly would. But that's 1 of 4 Safi Joseph horse. The 1 obviously has a big shot. The 4 has a big shot. Irad Ortiz, 8-1. That horse, is another possible shot. And you got Irad Ortiz at 8-1 again, and he's getting blinkers on. Safi Joseph and Irad hit at 45 or 34% when they get together. And that horse is coming out of the last 3 races he was in was grade 3, some big races he was in. So you got the 1 horse Safi, the 4 horse Safi, the 8 horse Blind Spot. Paco Lopez is on that horse. He's stretching out. He's a sprinter coming in, probably going to be a pace factor, perhaps. Doesn't look like he has a lot of speed, but his first time racing at this distance, so that should be interesting. Or second time at this distance. Hasn't raced very much. And again, I love the 12 horse. So again, I may use the 12. I think the 11 horse has a shot. This horse is 8-1 with Ruiz on him, who's a hot jockey down there at Gulfstream. Put up a 90 Beyer speed figure last out, which is above par for this race. So he's got a solid chance. He's coming back down from racing an Aqueduct. And his last 2 races, the last race he raced and he came in second by a head, just lost to Ocean Club, who is also in this race. Ocean Club is a number 10. Yeah, the number 10 horse. Ran a good race, didn't win the last out. But this horse, I think at 8-1 has a shot too. He raced against some serious horses the last 2 races back at grade 2 Canadian. He raced against Full Count Felicia, came in 3rd there. The race before that, the Gallarette, grade 3, raced against Fluffy Socks. He's racing against pretty serious horses, Sean. So I would give that horse a look too. So again, I'm not sure I'm going to single the 12. We'll see how it goes. But those are 2 horses I would definitely not leave out. Those 2 horses being the number 9, 5 Towns, and then the other one being Safi's other horse moving on up. So lots of choices there.
Race 13, 557, 1 mile turf, Appleton Stakes. Right back to the turf here. We have some. It looks like some of these horses are going to be, Major Dude specifically is going to probably be close to even or maybe lower. 7-5 morning line. You got some Brazilian horses or a Brazilian horse, Ice Chocolate. Seminole Chief. Which horses you like here? I know there's one who's been really good at Gulfstream, and maybe looked at here as the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, he's my favorite horse. I think, obviously, there's no question. Major Dude's going to get lots of action, rightfully so. That horse, Major Dude, has been raising. Irad Ortiz, Todd Pletcher again. Those two hook up together again, pretty solid. That horse has been racing in some serious races. Canadian Turf, Grade 3, Pacific Turf, Grade 1, where he lost the Spirit of St. Louis. Grade 3, Grade 2. Turf race, last 3 out, big races, and he's put up some good numbers. Came close to winning the last 2. Did win the one before that, the third back at a Grade 2. He's #1 prime power. I mean, it's going to be tough to beat, but I like the 6 at Rumar a little bit better. I mean, again, it's Safi Joseph and Zayas again. That's equivalent, I think, to Pletcher and Irad Ortiz. You're going to see those two hook up together. But this horse is the horse you referred to. 3 for 3 at Gulfstream Park, 2 for 3 at the distance. Puts up buyers that put him in the mix with Major Dude. And last time out, he lost to a really good horse, which we all know about as Tommy T's horse from the Hybos, Carson's Run. That horse is a big time quality racehorse, and being in that race with Carson's Run, he held his own right towards till the 16th pole, and then just dropped back a little bit, and that's all it was. But that horse is a good horse to be an alternate to Major Dude. I mean, all the other horses in here are 15-1, 20-1, 8-1, 10-1, pretty high numbers. So the only other horse you might want to look at, as you mentioned, is the Brazilian bred Ice Chocolate. That horse is trained by Mark Cassie, great trainer, ridden by Joel Rosario. So you're going to get a good ride out of that horse. He's 7-2, so. I think that horse is a definite must use in some of the things that you're going to be looking at. He's with a new trainer, I'm sorry, not a new trainer. He's got new tactics. Last time out, he put up some pretty good fractions for a mile at Saratoga against some good company. And he never really ran as a pace horse in the past, Sean. So that's kind of interesting. He ran, got the lead, kept the lead, and stayed there. So that's pretty cool.
We got some
our guys are back.
Sully, let me tell you something about this kid. What's up under the helmet too? This kid Sully. I don't know how old you are. I can take a guess, but I'm not sure. I will talk later, but the Manchester United news, the biggest team in the world. This kid came out of nowhere and is breaking news right away. And I told some of these other guys, I would be super excited if we could get him on to do a soccer podcast talking about some of this stuff, obviously ahead of the summer. And then, he writes for attacking footy.
Oh, really?
So,
awesome.
We have 57 sites we got going up. So,
and where's he from, Sean?
He's from England.
So he's hooking into us from England.
Yeah. We got internet.
Awesome.
People watching.
That's great, Sean.
Yeah. And we got my guy Lucas is watching in Poland every once in a while and stuff. So depending on, he usually on Saturdays. The Thursday night show is a little bit too late for him, but he does check in.
Yeah,
so.
Sure.
But anyway, Thanks for watching, both you guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And then make sure, if you like money, make sure you're betting on these races. The Arkansas Derby, the big one.
Whoa. Yeah, the Florida Derby.
sorry, the Florida Derby, race 14. I skipped that there. The Florida Derby, race 14, 642. And it's $1 million race. Obviously, once again, ton of jockey changes here. There's some big time horse in here. 100-point race. The next race, the Derby, Arkansas Derby, is a 100-point race. Some of the horses are already. We're talking about them. They're already in the race. It's more specific, I think, towards the Arkansas Derby, but there's going to be some value here by some of these some of these horses, and I see a rocket workout. There's a literal on the story you wrote. There's a literal flame next to one of the guys' workouts, which you don't usually see in stories there. So just talk about this race.
Yeah, so just a quick note on who the jockey changes are. On the number 8, Medakit Road for Bob Baffert. Mike Smith, Hall of Fame jockey, jumped on that horse. Again, because Gaffalione broke his ankle. Wish him well. Speedy recovery there. Tyler G, you'll be missed there down at Gulfstream Park. And number 10, probably end up going to be the likely favorite, Sovereignty. Manny Franco got that mount as well for Bill Mott because, again, Alvarado has injured his shoulder blade. Both those guys need therapy. Hey, I'm your guy. Physical therapist here, 40 years therapist. So if you need any help, let me know. I'll fly down to Florida to take care of you, no problem. But on the horse side, I still continue to like Tappan Street. When I'm listening to some of these podcasts, a lot of guys are liking it. A lot of guys and girls are liking this horse. Brad Cox is sending, from what I've been understanding as far as the information, setting this horse up for this race. I mean, he needs this race to get to the Derby. He's currently in 44th place with 10 points. First or second place here, and any horse that gets in first or second will get you likely in. First, definite. Second, very likely. So Tappan Street, again, Saez knows this horse well. He had a little trouble the first time out. He got kind of called around and still managed to win. Last time out, he came in second to Burnham Square. It wasn't his best race. He's been working out, getting ready for this race. You can never, my opinion, Brad Cox sets a horse up for this race. You got to love that. Other horse that I'm taking a look at, which is the Flame, as you mentioned, Sean, a little Flame action, is Noequis, the number 1 horse. Again, Safi Joseph, Zayas together. This horse has the rail. Hasn't been on the rail before, which is an advantage. I think he's not a new horse. A first-time starter may have a little trouble with the rail, but third off the layoff, has the highest speed figure in this race, along with the number 8, Medakit Road. But again, he's a little bit wider. There were no scratches in this race. So I think between the 4 Disruptor and the 1 Noequis, they're going to be really looking to go to the front and stay there. And I think, Disruptor may stay back a little bit more and maybe let him go a little bit. Irad Ortiz may do that. If he does that and Zayas is able to work out a trip where he gives the number 1 horse a little breather at 10-1, probably likely to go up again, I would certainly take a look at that horse. Medakit Road, Mike Smith, number 1 prime power, blinkers off. That's a 30% move for Bob Baffert. Horse has been getting better and better every race. 7-2, that's a good price for a horse that's a likely winner. Sovereignty certainly, again, this is what I would call, you could talk about this forever. This horse doesn't need to win. Will he still win? Is the jockey going to push him as hard as he wants to? Manny Franco's never been on him before. Manny Franco, obviously quality, one of the best jockeys there is. But I don't know what Mott's going to tell him, make it a glorified, not work ankle. I'm not going to say that. You want the horse to keep an edge. But it's just interesting that, not interesting. It's unfortunate, I should say, that Manny Franco's on him. And it's interesting, unfortunate because he got on because Alvarado hurt. But it's interesting that see what happens with that, Sean. So I'm still sticking with Tappan Street, Louis Saez, Brad Cox. Those two, when they get together, Brad Cox and Saez, they hit it 30%. So that's good by me, Sean.
And then finally, Arkansas Derby race 13 at 7:48 Oakland Park Eastern time. Obviously, it'll be 6:48 in Arkansas. 1 1/8 miles. Arkansas Derby 1.25 million race. Same thing, 100 points. Good horses in it, and I know there's going to be a couple horses. I mean, it's amazing that this is a Derby race, and you have a horse that's 7-5 in the morning line. You know, I know the horse was a big, big money buy, but there's a horse in the race that wins every single time he races, and it's crazy to me that there's a 7-5 horse in the race, especially with these good number of horses in it. Well, I guess people like this horse.
Well, again, that horse has a great story. His purchase price was a lot less than 1.2 million for sure. The trainer is great story. If you look at any of the little takes they've done on him,
number 8, correct?
Huh?
This is
number 8. Yeah, Cold Battle. Yeah. Morning line 7-2. Like you said, all he does is win, 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 win. He's going for his 5th win in a row. Always, overlooked. The jockey Vargas is again not a household name, but it doesn't matter. The horse just wins. It's not my top pick. I mean, again,
he's got 70 Derby points already. Like he's already like this horse could go out of the gate and lie down and sit on the couch for the rest of the race and is already in the Derby. Like this horse is in the Derby. It won the Smarty Jones, it won the Rebel. It's a good horse, but yes.
No doubt.
I know you like one of the ECW horses.
I do.
Yes! Swansea goal! Let's go!
What happened, Sean? Who scored?
Leeds is falling apart again. There we go.
Oh, nice. I get it now. I get it now,
That's
Sean.
from my guy Sully right there. I know you're watching that game. I know we're watching Swansea tie it up in the 97th minute.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
There's only 90 minutes, so they played 7 minutes of stoppage time, and they scored in the 7th minute.
I don't know much about soccer, but I know 90 minutes. I know 90 minutes is the time frame. So when I say 97, I know that's like I don't want to use the word overtime. I guess that's not appropriate, but it's kind of like overtime.
It's injury time. Yeah. It's deep into injury time. So it's we don't like Leeds around here. Sully, my guy Sully, if he's still watching, can tell you that. But I know you like one of the ECW horses, one of my favorite guys from ECW. If you used to watch back in the 90s, and his name
ECW, who's that?
Extreme Championship Wrestling, the main guy, Sandman.
Oh, Sandman. Okay, you got me. I wasn't a big wrestler, but yes, I do like ECW reference to Sandman, the number 6 horse. I think the big tell here is that Mark Cassidy, again, hot trainer, good trainer, put Jose Ortiz on this horse. Torres, great jockey at Oakland Park, and knows how to ride this horse. His last 3 outings have been very consistent. He's become a better horse in his last 3 races. I think, quite frankly, he's sitting on a big race. He is the number 1 prime power. He is 20th on the Derby list, so he's right on the infamous bubble, if you will. He's got 29 points, I believe, 29 points. So he needs this race, and I think he likes the track. He's ready to go. I haven't looked at the weather forecast and what's going on at Oakland Park. I didn't check because their race starts. Huh?
It's going to be. I was actually going to tell you because it's I'm looking at the distribution of people watching right here. Basically, the entire swath of the United States is 80 degrees, 75, 80 degrees from here.
Okay.
Basically, from New York to Albuquerque, all the way to Chicago down. So it's supposed to be, I think, pretty warm there, and it looks like nice.
Good. Well, in that case, certainly any kind of moisture in the track, which it did rain a little last night or yesterday, that'll be gone. It wasn't much anyway, so I'm anticipating that's going to be a fast track, which is fine. And so, the Sandman out of a Tappet sire, has plenty of upside. Now, again, as you mentioned, the 9-horse Cornucopian, $1.2 million horse, or 1.1 million. Johnny Velasquez is getting the mount for Bob Baffert because Irad Ortiz is riding Disruptor for Todd Pletcher at Gulfstream Park in the Florida Derby. So it's not obviously a bad trade-off getting Johnny Velasquez, but this is the first time for 2 turns for this horse. First time against winners. Certainly the horse has lots of upside to him, but it's going to be interesting to see what he does. He's got an outside post, not a terrible slot. Again, I haven't checked if there's any scratches in this race. Excuse me, or not yet.
Doesn't look.
But the other horse that I would take a good hard look at, especially if you're looking for not a big price, but it is Publisher, the 3-horse, ridden by last year's Eclipse winning rider and broke the record of most stakes wins last year. Flavian Pratt riding for Steve Asmussen, who has been kind of a hot in some of these races and certainly knows how to put a horse at Oakland Park on the track to win. And that horse is 6-1. He's in 41st place for the Derby, so I think this horse is going to be looking to run a big race. So I would look at the 3, 6, 9. And you could go from there. The goose drank wine, the monkey got choked, blah, 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 whatever. But 3, 6, 9 would be a nice combination to put together there. And I'm going to use, again, my 6 on top. The other horse that's probably going to be a factor is going to be, you got to use the 5, Speed King. He's on the bubble too for the Derby. I mean, he's in 26th, 23rd place, 25 points. So he's got a good shot too. And he's going to be the speed of the speed with the number 9 Cornucopian. Yeah, if the 9-horse, huh?
No, it's interesting. I'm just reading. I read your stuff and multiple other things, and it's kind of the same. The Horse Racing Nation. Matt Schiffman basically says throw out the first, throw out 7 and 1, 2, whatever. But really likes the Speed King as a lifelong shot.
No doubt.
Battle, likes Cold Battle a lot. Obviously, Cornucopia, you can't leave him out. But in a horse race like this, you hope, obviously, you hope 5. If you do 5, 6, 8, 9 super box, and you hope it's 5, 8, 6, 9 or something like that.
That'd be perfect. Yeah. I like that. That's a good bet. I like that bet.
Yeah, I think you got Cold Battle, who's obviously wins. Cornucopian Monster Horse, supposedly, from the with Bob Baffert, and then you have Sandman and Speed King, who's going to be around. He's going to be around somewhere because he's got the speed. So, I don't give a lot of picks out, but I do like those picks today. So
I like that. And a lot of people are not concerned, but are wondering a little bit, like in terms of Speed King, obviously a experienced horse, ran several times. Cornucopian only ran once. Who knows when he comes out of the gate? If he most likely won't, but if something like that happens and Speed King gets a lonely lead, that's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of trouble. So that's why he's a good value at 15-1.
At 15-1, with another horse that, like you said, imagine if that horse gets out and just nobody catches him. I mean, that's going to pay that's going to pay a ton. I mean, 30, 32.
That's a good possibility, and that's what makes horse racing interesting. That's what makes that race interesting. That's what makes today an interesting day. So, good luck to everybody who's playing out there, and let's see how we do this week, Sean. We had a great week last week. Looking forward to having a big week again this week, and we'll get together again, Sean. All right?
Yeah, definitely, and make sure you tune in again on Thursday night. We'll go through the One Horse Wonders. Once again, a massive weekend of next week of racing. A huge set of Kentucky Derby races coming up. I think there's 3 or 4 next weekend.
I think there might be 4 on the East Coast too, and the West Coast too.
Yeah, I think I think it's a pretty big weekend for that. So Saturday that'll be interesting. So, all right, well,
all right, Sean.
Thanks for watching, and let me see if I can find this closing. Here we go.